Hey travelers, what's up? Chris here with another video. This time not a review, I'm coming to you from Shinjuku, Tokyo, our home base. And as we're heading towards the end of the year, I thought it would be nice to actually look back over the 30-ish or so hotel reviews I did on my channel so far and actually highlight the 3 hotels that were the most impressive and surprising to me, and also the 3 hotels that kind of disappointed me the most. So let's go. Before going into this, just a quick note, keep in mind that we only went to all of these hotels once, at least for most of the hotels, and it is of course only my view. Your perspective might change, and please keep it civil in the comment section. So let's go. So number 3 is the Conrad in Osaka, Japan. If you have the chance to come to Osaka, then I guarantee you will have a fantastic time if you go to the Conrad Osaka. Now, it's not a cheap hotel, but it is brand new and the location is fantastic. We went there on points and even got quite a generous upgrade, but even the standard rooms are extremely nice, super modern. You have these floor-to-ceiling windows, extremely comfortable beds, big bathtubs, and you also get a Dyson hairdryer and other very high-end digital goodies that just make this such a nice place to stay. But it's not only the rooms. For one, you have a 360-degree view all over Osaka, which is amazing, and you can see people coming into the lobby on the 40-something floor to just enjoy the view. Furthermore, there's an indoor pool, which is something that you wouldn't expect, to be honest, in a hotel, and it's even fairly big, and you get a nice view from it on top of that. The breakfast was amazing, not only for the views, but the ordered dishes, for example, were really nice and special, and in general it just felt extremely high-end. On top of that, if you have lounge access, it is really amazing. You can truly have a full dinner there because the food options were extremely extensive. You had warm and cold dishes, you had all kinds of drink options, and the staff was incredibly helpful. And I just have to say, this is probably my favorite property in Japan. So if you have the chance, absolutely go there. My number 2 of the most impressive hotels goes to the Waldorf Astoria Bangkok in Thailand. The Waldorf Astoria certainly is a high-end property. However, in Bangkok, and if you use some promotions here and there, the average price per night is still quite digestible compared to other Waldorfs in the world. And what a place this is. This is super beautiful, a brand new building. I love the interior. These beige and light blue tones feel extremely elegant, and you can see that the ceiling heights everywhere also very tall, so it feels extremely spacious and airy. Now, we really enjoyed our stay from the beginning to end. The hotel staff was extremely attentive. You get a very nice welcoming drink. You have extremely beautiful rooms that are super modern, and there's zero wear and tear that I could at least see. Very comfy bed and nice bathroom especially. And then on top of that, the breakfast was the absolute highlight for me. I have to say, I definitely want to get back to Bangkok, to the Waldorf Astoria, just for the breakfast. It is amazing, the pastries are fantastic, the fruits are fantastic. Absolute highlight for me. You also have a pool on the outside with a very nice view over the horse racing kind of compound over there. This one is a bit on the smaller side, but you wouldn't expect anything too big in a Waldorf, I think. And besides that, there's also a really nice restaurant on the top floor and a bar where you have incredible views all over the city. Overall, the Waldorf is so far my favorite property in Bangkok, although there's so many, so it's even hard to choose from. But if you have the chance, give it a try. I can absolutely recommend it. And then for me, so far, the most impressive hotel has to have been the Anders in Munich, Germany, the Anders Tor. The Anders Munich might be one of the properties that my viewers might be less familiar with, and I also made this review quite a while ago. However, this property I've been to roughly 5 or 6 times already. Whenever I go there with my family, we all stay at the Anders. And it is a flawless property. Besides the location, which is slightly outside of the city center, everything else in this hotel is amazing. You get these incredibly big, spacious rooms that are very comfortable, have super nice views, and also they're properly insulated, so even in the winter you can sit right at the window and it feels warm and cozy. You have these super big bathtubs, and just the general design looks extremely nice in my opinion. On top of that, the minibar is included, which is a nice touch. The breakfast is really nice. On the ground floor there is a social hour or a social 2 hours, I can't remember, where you get some drinks and can socialize with other guests. You have a swimming pool, which is quite rare in German city hotels, and it is fairly spacious, and they can also open up the windows and doors in summertime to make it a little bit more airy and spacious, but even in winter it's nice to have an indoor warm swimming pool, I have to say. Overall, super nice property. I'm always delighted when we go there. There's also a bar that's very popular even with the locals, so you have to make reservations beforehand, but you get really nice views. And if you have the chance, if you're in Munich, definitely give the Anders Munich a try. It always impresses me when I stay there. Okay, coming to the 3 hotels that disappointed me the most over the last couple of years, number 3 definitely has to be the Intercontinental Okinawa Mansa Beach in Japan. So yeah, number 3 of my most disappointing hotels so far is the Intercontinental Okinawa Mansa Beach, South Islands of Japan. Now, when I think about it, it's not a generally bad hotel, but you have to always keep in mind that the pricing. This hotel goes up for a couple $100 per night if it's peak time, a peak holiday season in Japan, and for that it was just a very disappointing stay. On top of that, this AC or ventilation system that was running outside just made it a lot harder for us to just have the windows open and enjoy ourselves. And this was already a beach and water view, so this is supposed to be a good view. That was actually really quite loud. Overall, it's not a terrible location. The breakfast is okay and there's a couple of pools and things to do. It just feels like if you have to spend a couple $100 per night, you should definitely expect more than what the Intercontinental Okinawa Mansa Beach is offering. Number 2 is a bit of a controversial one, but number 2 spot for me goes to the Park Hyatt in New York, US. Now this will probably be a controversial opinion, but I stand by it. The Park Hyatt New York was an extremely disappointing property for us. Now, to be fair, we stayed there around 7 or 8 years ago, so it's been a really long time by now, and I hope a lot has changed. Overall, it looks like the reviews are quite positive, so that makes me optimistic that things are better now. But this was a really bad stay, guys, for us. We came there with a globalist status, and this is a hotel that easily costs $1,000 a night at times. Now, the hot product is quite alright, I have to say. I mean, the rooms are fairly spacious for New York standards. You have an indoor pool and the lobby and everything looks quite fancy. For us, it really came down to 1, the service, and 2, also a bit the room, to be honest. Let me start with the room, and that's a smaller point, but coming into the room and you see these fairly big stains on the carpet really makes you wonder how this can be overlooked by the cleaning crew. And I guess I came with the expectation of excellence for such a high-end hotel, and this just cannot then happen. However, more importantly, we need to talk about the service. And this started from when we tried to check in and first got completely ignored in the lobby. It took forever for someone to, approach us and to say hello and welcome to the hotel. My mom and I, we sat at the lobby where there was also a little bit of a water kind of fountain where you could get some infused water. And there were so many dirty glasses just standing around and no one seemed to bother to put them away. And also no one gave us any fresh glasses until we asked 3 times, and on the 3rd time someone kind of, with some rolling eyes, gave us some water. I don't understand. And it just continued like that. At the breakfast, it was extremely hard to get the attention of the staff, and it seemed that the staff had dedicated areas for which they are responsible for, and if you asked a staff that was not responsible for your area, they would just ignore you, which I don't understand. I get it, you can just tell your colleague that this guest has a question or an order, but it was baffling, honestly. We basically got completely ignored until we really loudly asked for someone to help us order. And again, this is a Park Hyatt, it's an extremely expensive and high-end hotel. Furthermore, when it came to the hotel pool, it was kind of the same. It's fantastic that they have an indoor hotel pool, but all of the chairs and every seating option was wet. There were wet towels, even though there were hardly any guests at the swimming pool. So nobody bothered to clean up. There was a kind of a lifeguard sitting around, and that's probably not his job, but after a while he cleaned up 2 or 3 of the chairs and the dirty towels. But again, this was such a messy stay. It was really incredible. So on paper, really good hard product, but the service was absolutely terrible for our stay. Again, I'm not sure if this was maybe just an unlucky stay for us, an unlucky timing, and I hope I don't make my family and me sound like entitled assholes or anything. We really were always polite and everything. It was just a really bad level of service that, compared to the Anders on 5th and the Grand Hyatt, we did not expect, and it was really terrible. Okay, and the top spot, the final most disappointing hotel, is actually also the most recent one, the one I just reviewed. It is the Crown Plaza, Hanwha Beach in Phuket, Thailand. And let's see what this is about. So we're in Thailand, and this is actually my most recent review. And I have to say, honestly, my expectations already were not very high, because this is not a very expensive hotel. And quite on paper, if you are not too sensitive, I guess this is a decent hotel. You have a pool, you get a breakfast, you have reasonably big rooms, and the location isn't terrible. However, what really brought this to the first place of the most disappointing hotels for me was just the wear and tear and the hygiene levels. And I don't need a very luxurious hotel, but hygiene and, you know, stains and whatnot, this is where the fun stops for me. If you're not bothered by that, then you can probably ignore this spot here of the Crown Plaza, but to me it was just really bad to see stains on the curtains, on the bed, on the seating, on the wall. Everything felt extremely shoddy, and it just felt like a $20 kind of all-inclusive hotel. And this is not a super cheap hotel, so especially during peak season, this still goes up to $150, $200 for a standard room. So at those price levels, this just cannot be it. So definitely don't stay there. At least I can absolutely not recommend it, and we will definitely not stay there again, at least until there will be big, you know, renovations, or if they really overhaul the hotel. Otherwise, for now, I recommend to stay away from this.